You've all heard the stories of Africans being duped into fighting for Russia, right? Video of that Kenyan guy with a landmine around his neck, African nationals seemingly cheering themselves on before going off into the meat grinder, and the outright mercenaries who weren't duped at all because they quite frankly have no problem joining Russia's genocidal invasion of Ukraine so long as they're paid. But no one has asked Africans here in Ukraine what they think about all of this. So I asked Ukraine's longest-term African resident his thoughts.
As an African living in Ukraine, it's very disgusting to see Africans coming to fight on the side of the oppressors, on the side of the imperialist forces like Russia that has only one aim to come and destroy Ukraine. It's disgusting. At times I think if I have my way, I'll fund my battalion too to go and look for those Africans and fight them.
Really?
Oh, of course, yeah, because I think they will be a better manure, a better fertilizer for Ukrainian soil.
You have no mercy for them.
No.
Dr. Aniki Johnson has been in Ukraine for nearly 45 years since he arrived in 1981 as a student during the USSR. After earning his doctorate in economics, he stayed in country after the Soviet Union fell, became a serial entrepreneur, and currently owns a company that supplies hospital equipment here in Ukraine and abroad. I sat down with Dr. Johnson at a local cafe recently to get his thoughts on why so many Africans chose to wear the Russian military uniform. Check out the conversation.
Oh man, good. So, hey, Dr. Johnson, so tell me, why do you think so many Africans are, who are in Russia, are volunteering to fight in Ukraine?
Well, there could be so many reasons. It could be ideological. It could be economical too. Africa consists of poor nations with poor people. Even $500 contract to come and fight in Russia against Ukraine, they are ready to come and fight. Mm-hmm. The only difference is this: do they know what they were really coming there to do? Do they know the context of the contract they signed before leaving Africa to Russia?
Because they don't speak, they
don't speak the language, and Russians cannot be trusted unless they are dead. Even when they are dead, a pathologist has to confirm that.
Okay. Yeah. I hear that, but it's interesting because see, you've been living in Ukraine for more than 40 years, and so it has to be frustrating to see so many people from the continent, especially Nigerians, where you're from, who are putting on this Russian uniform to fight against a country that you have grown into. You were a student here, and then you built your professional career here. So it has to be frustrating for you to see these people coming and fighting here.
But ironically, there are very few Nigerians who has gone to Russia to fight Ukraine. From all statistics, Nigerians love money, but very few wants to die. Yes, they are mainly from Kenya. Mm-hmm. All we have been hearing about Kenya, Tanzania, I think Angola too. Officially in Ukraine, we have only one Nigerian. He's a paramedic. Mm-hmm. He finished medical university in Dnipropetrovsk and he volunteered to serve. Mm-hmm. Me as an African here is very disgusting. Why? Ukraine has the same history like Africa. We were oppressed. Mm-hmm. We were enslaved. We were colonized. Till today they are still exploiting us. Africa has never offended anybody. Africa has never thrown stone to anybody. We accepted everybody. We received every visitors, only later to become the victims. The same thing with Ukraine. So, as an African living in Ukraine, it's very disgusting to see Africans coming to fight on the side of the oppressors, on the side of the imperialist forces like Russia that has only one aim to come and destroy Ukraine. Mm-hmm. It's disgusting. At times I think if I have my way, I'll fund my battalion too to go and look for those Africans and fight them.
Really?
Oh, of course, yeah, because I think they will be a better manure, a better fertilizer for Ukrainian soil.
You have no mercy for them.
No. Because going to fight a war, you don't even know how it started. Going to fight on the side of the oppressor, on the side of the aggressor, against the victim. Whatever be their reasons, I don't care. That's why most of them who enter Ukrainian soil, they don't leave Ukrainian soil alive. They were being killed here or captured. That's the best option. Or served as a fertilizer for Ukrainian soil.
But do you when you know when they say, "Oh, I didn't know," and I signed a contract, and I was going to be a janitor, or I was going to be in the rear? Do you believe their stories?
Well, the stories can be analyzed in different forms. I repeat, Russians cannot be trusted. They may be lured from Africa exactly not knowing what they are going to Russia to do. They may have been told they were going to work somewhere. They may have been forced to sign a contract in a language they did not understand. By the time they discover what they are in Russia for, it will be too late for them to change their mind. That is one option. Two, some might know what they're actually going to Russia to do. All of them cannot be innocent. The Russian instructor or the Russian, whatever they call them, they must have told them, in case you are captured, tell them these funny stories.
Oh.
That might make Ukraine to be lenient with you, send you back to your country, get in touch. It could be the same propaganda or the same indoctrination while in the camp in Russia. When you are captured, tell them beautiful story. I was told I'm going to Russia to work, but on getting there, I discovered the type of work I was to do. Before I discovered it was military service or in the war front, it was too late. That could be one side. Three, some might be there to make money. There are mercenaries who are professionals. They don't care where they fight, whom they kill, as long as they are being paid. So these are the three categories. Some know it's possible. Some didn't know what they are into Russia for. As I said again, Russians cannot be trusted. There are students in Russia, failure to pay school fees, were offered, go to the war front, you fight. When you finish fighting, come back, you get Russian passport, and you study free of charge. Those are that group. Some commit petty offenses, like drugs, narcotic, or all those things. They may equally be offered. You either go to prison or you go to the war front. When you serve 6 months in the war front, you get Russian citizenship, you will not serve the prison terms, and you can start working in Russia. So those are the 3-4 categories of Africans. I think whichever way, I think they have no business coming to Ukraine to do, because coming to fight a war on the side of aggression, we here in Ukraine, is very disgusting.
I was going to ask you, I mean, like, I'm curious about, when you start first seeing these people come here, it had to surprise you because you live in Ukraine, and so you're on the opposite side of it. And this, like I said, this country, you've told me many times, like, I started my career here. I was a student during the Soviet Union, but you did not fall for the propaganda of that Russia push. I mean, obviously that you're here, but why do you think so many people on the continent fall for the propaganda that Russia pushes, that pushes on them?
Russia inherited Soviet Union propaganda machineries. In terms of propaganda, they are unbeatable. White can be converted to black, black can become white. They are professional in propaganda. Most Africans believe them. In fact, maybe some of these soldiers, African soldiers coming to Ukraine, thought they are coming here to fight Americans. The British soldiers, the German soldiers. Yes, because the propaganda states that Western soldiers are fighting on the side of Ukraine here. Maybe they never really know the true picture that they were coming here to fight Ukrainians who are equally victims of the aggressor. Mm-hmm. Yes. And Russian propaganda is very powerful in Africa. Ukraine cannot match them. No. Because they spend billions of dollars every year on propaganda. And they're actually achieving their aims there. Ukraine is not winning in terms of propaganda. No. So a lot of Africans believe them. Africans believe that Russians helped African countries during their fight against colonialism for independence. They see this as an opportunity to pay them back.
Really?
Yes. While Russia is fighting Western countries as they claim, according to propaganda, in Ukrainian territory, which is not true. Mm-hmm. Okay, an African soldier, how does he know who is in the uniform? This is an Ukrainian, an American. Somebody comes from Africa for the first time to Ukraine to fight. How does he know who is an American, who is a German, who is a British people? So how does he differentiate?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm curious, like, even before you saw these Africans that were putting on Russian uniforms to fight, I noticed the propaganda that was being spread across the continent. And you see these Wagner mercenaries that are set up in a number of these countries, which are they essentially are protecting like corrupt officials, and then they extract their minerals all while they exploit the people and murder the people, etc. Like, I wonder if you ever had conversations at least online, with Africans who favor this Russian perspective, and what have your conversations been like?
Well, there are so many Africans that are very sympathetic to Russia. And the anti-Western ideology makes a lot of Africans too sympathetic to Russia. Because let's be honest with ourselves, most of the atrocities Russians are doing today in Ukraine, the same Western countries, they have done worse than that in Africa. From Belgium to France to England to Portugal to any of them.
Yeah, yeah.
They have done worse than that in Africa.
Yeah.
So Africans believe that. The West too, they are evil. Yes, I'm telling them. So they choose between the two evils. They believe that Russians has not offended Africa. They have never, on the opposite, they helped Africa during the during the civil war or the war to chase the colonial masters away from Africa. So they formed their ideology from that. Of course, on propaganda again, my point is this. We see how in the war front, they dehumanize African soldiers in Russia. They are they are the first materials to be grounded. Again, they are treating Africans the way Africans were treated by the same Western imperialism during the Second World War. First and Second World War, they were treated too. They were sent to mine land, so they will be the first to die.
If I were them, if I really had this idea that I'm not going to fight on the side of the imperialists, I wouldn't fight for anyone. I would just stay home.
No, I said, there are mercenaries that they don't care who they fight for, as long as they are being paid. They don't care whom they kill. They don't care on which side. They are professionals. They're fighters. They're mercenaries.
Yeah, because you keep saying this whole thing. I'm a student. I was tricked, but it sounds like you don't really believe it.
Believe what?
About like a lot of these people who are coming in. I'm a student. I'm this. Or are you saying like there are mercenaries and there are students who are tricked?
No, I've analyzed different groups of African soldiers.
Yeah, correct. Gotcha. Yeah.
There are 4 categories. I've stated them. I don't want to repeat the same thing again. There are 4 categories. That those who claim they don't know, some might not know, some may know. They were given this story to be told to Ukrainians if they happen to be captured. For them to be sympathized, well, Ukrainians trying to be sympathizing with them. So these are innocent guys. They were just tricked to Russia and hand them over to the embassy, and they find themselves Africa if they are fortunate to be alive to tell the story.
Yeah, if they're fortunate to be alive.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because a lot of these people, it is the meat grinder, and
they are grinders, first material to be grounded. This humanization of Africans, that means African soldiers, even fighting on the side of Russia, they are inferior. They are the first material to be grounded.
Like the ideal situation would be, since you might be the African who's been in Ukraine the longest, of all people,
I'm the record holder. I'm the record holder today.
Really?
44 years. This is 45th year running.
Wow. It's 44 years, so that's the record. Wow. So, it would just be ideal if you would do public announcements for Ukraine and just voicing to people on the continent, hey, don't do this, because this is dangerous. I think you would be such a powerful image and voice.
Well, I've been doing that. A lot of African embassies has been doing that. I think the African government has to do more by warning their citizens. I don't know whether some African countries have a law where their citizens cannot fight in another country.
Okay, gotcha.
I don't know that. But some countries have that law. You cannot fight in the side of any country in case of any war. If you come back home, you'll be tried, you'll be convicted. Some countries have that. But I think most Africans, they don't have that law. But I think we need to do more, at least to send message to African countries, through our African Council, African embassies in Kyiv, even the ones in Moscow. We have to enlighten them, for them to send to their previous governments. Thank God we have Sudanese embassy in Kyiv. We have Sudan is in Kyiv. I think Morocco, South Africa, Egypt is in Kyiv. I think Libya is in Kyiv too. Nigeria is partly here too. So partly here, partly in Lithuania. They need to send more message to their to their government, for them to instruct their citizens to know what they are coming here for. One, to discourage them. If they cannot be discouraged, at least they should know what they are coming to Russia to do. Before you sign any agreement, Let the agreement be in the language you understand before you put your signature on any agreement. Yes, I think we need to do more on that. To send message to African countries, to African citizens, to be effort to discourage them that they are coming to fight the same victims like Ukraine, the same way we Africans were victims during the colonial era, the slave trade, and we're still victims today of Western imperialism. Because at the end of the day, they don't love us. They're after their interest. No Western country love Africa. Let me tell all of you. No Western country love Africa. They're after our resources.
Yeah.
And whatever it costs them to get those resources, in fact, if they can wipe away all Africans to get our resources, they will do it. Oh yes, they will do it.
And
so coming to fight on the side of one of those same aggressors. Look at Russia. Every city, you cannot say they captured. They destroyed. They leveled those cities. Before they arrive at that, before the final, I mean, all this. Maybe you have just 10, 20 people left in a city of maybe 60,000, 70,000, 80,000. They are not after the territory, they are not after the people. So all the claim that they came here to liberate us, they came to take the land. It's land grabbing policy and nothing more. They are land grabbers.
just like Western colonizers.
No, just like the colonizers, they came to grab our land, yes. They are land grabbers.
Land grabbers. Yeah, to close out, I know I'm putting together a documentary about your life and we're raising money for it, but just briefly for this particular story, I want to talk to you about why you came here. Again, like your longer story is going to be in the documentary, but you came here in the 80s.
Yes, early 80s, 1981 to be precise.
1981,
yes.
To study. And you came from a little village in Nigeria.
A little village, a small village, as a student.
And me and Dr. Johnson, we joke, right? Because I said, I grew up in the hood and I was poor, and then he started talking
about the poverty in America and the poverty in Africa is two different poverty levels. Some African poverty wish to be like the American poverty level.
Yeah, so basically what he's saying, like poor people who grew up on the west side of Detroit, we were middle class compared to the Nigerian.
We were affluent class.
We were the affluent class compared to the Nigerians, right? But you came here on a scholarship, and you said that you basically went, the Soviets came and they were testing some of the best and brightest students, and you did well. You came out the top, and then you never flew on a plane, didn't even have luggage, and then you came to Ukraine, which was then the Soviet Union. But I think you said you went to Moscow, right?
Yes, okay, from Moscow, yes.
And then they sent you
to
here.
Donetsk, back to Kyiv, after the preparatory faculty, yes.
And back to Kyiv, and then you had to take a year of Russian.
Yes, Russian language, yes.
And then you went to school here and you studied
industrial economics for my master's, later my PhD in finance.
Which is why he's Dr. Johnson.
Yes, I'm Dr. Johnson.
Yeah, why he is Dr. Johnson. And then, and what was really funny is that you were, back in the Soviet Union, it was supposed to be anti-capitalist, but you're like, Nigerians, we got to sell and make money. And so you were telling me stories about, you were able to...
How becoming anti-capitalist made us to become capitalist. Yes. Yeah. That even we had student oligarchs those days.
Wow. Yeah. And
we had student oligarchs.
Student oligarchs. You tell me, even when you were going to France, for example, for like a vacation trip, you would be bringing jeans back and selling them to students, and which is something you weren't supposed to do.
Yeah, it was semi-legal at that time, yes, but we all did it.
Computers,
jeans, call anything. Anything you can talk about, we brought, because you see, under Soviet Union, we were spending our money to import goods. The government supposed to import. We were the importers.
Yes.
Yes. We imported everything to this country. Yes.
And then, so basically, by the way, Issa, who's shy about his English, he's in the background talking. He's like, nodding.
No, he will still talk. I mean, he will still talk, of course. I'll help him out. So no problem.
He was nodding in agreement, basically, because he's been here for close to 40 years, right?
For about 39.
39 years,
39.
right? So 39 years. So basically, you got your PhD and everything, and then when the Soviet Union fell, you stayed.
Yes, I stayed back. Yes.
Most people would go home, man.
Well, I felt since there was new opportunity to officiate, to become that capitalist, the official capitalist. I decided to give it a trial. Because there was freedom, you could register a company, you could have an office, you could do business and legal business. So I gave it a trial.
And your first business was?
Well, my first business was general trading, just like everything. That's master of everything, but I mean, okay, jack of all trades, all trades, but master of none. We were into everything: import, export. I mean, cement, air conditioner, sugar, fertilizers. We did everything. Anything that brought money, we did it.
What was it like being black back in the Soviet days? Generally, what was it like for you, the environment?
Well, Soviet Union had an ideology to prove to the world that communism was an ideal society where there was no racial problem. We were treated with dignity, with respect, all black people. Yes. They gave us the best teachers, the best hostel, the best conditions in the hostel. It was equally propaganda for us to return back to our countries and become Soviet propaganda that communism was the best. Because we were trained that capitalism was evil. Racial discrimination, unemployment. Yes, how blacks were being maltreated in America. We saw those films, yes. So they tried to relate to black people for us to go back and propagate communism as the best society in this world. We enjoyed our best, yes. Till today, most of our former students, we have this, our Kyiv alumni and all those things. Everybody will tell you the best part of their life, my life still continue here, was in Kyiv. That they will never enjoy such life again until they die. Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So I hope y'all are enjoying this convo so far. I just want to remind you to please hit those like and subscribe buttons and leave comments. All of this lets YouTube know y'all are watching my videos and others should as well. Also go on over to Patreon and become a subscriber. Thanks a lot for all of your help, and back to the convo.
Wow.
We lived in comfort. And any student, all students knew how to make extra money beside their stipend. We were very comfortable.
And you know, also too, another thing about Dr. Johnson is that any type of the racial discrimination laws that were here, this man is behind it. You know, and again, and Issa, of course, you know, and Issa, he's in the back.
No, not take the glory alone. We were yes, well, no, we were in the forefront.
They were a group. So basically, you're looking at history here, and you know, and again, like we're going to talk about in the documentary. But you, I was thinking, I came here in 2009, and you know, the 2000s. That was when you saw that trend of racial discrimination, the attacks on black people, and then. I know you were somebody who was an activist in making sure that laws were changed to make it tougher to prosecute people who attack blacks and anybody who was a foreigner. You were part of that, you know.
Yeah, I was part of the movement because as at that time, somebody has to lead. We were astray. We never had a Central African Council like we have today. Every community were on their own. So when this racial attack, killings came, somebody has to take the lead. That responsibility fell on me. He was with me, Mohammed from Borispo was me, Alfoush, Mredullah from India. We had to come together to fight our common enemy. And some of us had to lead the fight. It was very risky to the skinhead boys, to the racial groups, but we won the fight and we are alive to tell the story.
You didn't think about...
So we never talked about the risk. You know, we just felt that was me.
Just to defend people who are...
Every day a black man was beaten or was tried. If you're not killed, if you are lucky to be alive to tell the story, okay, good. But a lot of black people were killed, and everybody knew it could be anybody's turn. If not today, you might be the next victim tomorrow. So we never needed to convince people. We came together to fight a common enemy. Yes, because nobody was immune.
When I came in 2009 on my Fulbright, you know, I was coming in on the tail, like on the end of like, I mean, it was still hot, but it wasn't as bad as it was years before. and I know you're one of the first people I met, and that was like, what, 16 years ago? Wow, we've known each other for a long, wow.
Oh my God.
We've been friends, and Issa, who in the background, we've been friends 16 years.
Yes.
Wow. And but another thing too, this country for Black people, it's a different world because of the work y'all did. So a lot of people don't appreciate how much better the country has become because of the work that you all did together. And so I think people need to recognize that there was work that was done by people to make it, better.
Yeah, one thing I can say about Ukrainians is this: they are the most tolerant people of all Europeans.
You think so?
Yes, I think so. Yeah. But we fought for it. We fought for equality. I remember 2006. There was an official public opinion. Whom did Ukrainian doesn't want to be their neighbor? What's Sagan? Sagan is Sagan. No, they have Gypsy. Gypsy
was number one, right?
Number one. Followed by Africans.
Okay.
Those Ukrainians never wanted to even be their neighbor. But at the end of our struggle, we did another survey, practical survey. An African, Abubakar from Mali. We used him as an experiment. Myself, Minister of Internal Affairs, State Security, and some Ukrainian actors. They acted like skinhead boys. So, in different areas of Kyiv, it was as if they were attacking him to see the reaction of the people. Everywhere in Kyiv, where they played that role of attacking a black man, do you know people came to defend him?
Oh, really?
Oh, that even he's a black man. I mean, why are you? People came to, before they know that this is why, just arrange actors. Yeah. That shows the changes in the racial relationship between 2006 and what we have today. Ukrainians, they either accept you or they don't accept you. If they accept you, they receive you like their own. Yes. You become their friend. You become their family friend. I mean, I told you when you interviewed in my house that I'm the only black man in my vicinity and I feel comfortable. I decide whom to visit, whom not to visit. People beg me to come and take tea or coffee in my compound. That we fry maize, we cook Nigerian food, we eat together. I feel comfortable. Despite that I'm the only black, I mean, not just African, I'm the only foreigner in my vicinity, yes, where I live. You were in my
I was there,
I told you, yes. You feel comfortable, yes. In fact, they make you feel comfortable, yes.
Yeah, and so this is your 44th year here.
Oh yes, 44th years.
So
45th year.
45th.
Oh yes, yeah.
45th year. I'm 45, by the way. So this man has been in the country for as long as I've been. Yeah, before I was born. Yeah, right. Wow. Yeah, y'all. So listen, they're black. Again, like this is just a preview of the longer one. But anyway, we were talking. Just want to talk to him about the subject of Africans who are coming here in the larger story with him. That's going to be in the doc. So, yeah. So I'm just happy that you were sharing a little piece of history.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think I'm writing my book. I think it will still come out. Because of the war, the book is prolonged because we don't know how long the war is going to take place. It's called Stranger in the Midst of His People. That's going to be the title of the book. Stranger in the Midst of His People. That's a stranger who finds himself in the midst of his people, in whom or with whom he's comfortable.
And by the way, you're Ukrainian,
Russian,
yes, and everything. So he's super local. And the whole family here and everything. So anyway, we'll have more of this man soon. I hope you all enjoyed that conversation. We're going to be posting more videos about Africans' experience here in Ukraine, as well as how everyone is surviving the winter terrorism Russia is waging on everyone. See you all next week, and happy Black History Month.